Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. We've heard a lot tonight, alhamdulillah. And the fact is that while we rejoice in community and we are here together to celebrate the month of Ramadan, the fact is our hearts are very heavy. And for many reasons, of course, we contemplate what's happening in Gaza and what's happening here in our own country. And when I think about the dark times that we are in today, I am reminded of a narration from our Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, where he says, if the hour is about to commence, and in your hand there is a sapling, and you have the ability to plant that sapling into the earth before you, then do it. Once again, if the hour is about to commence, the world as we know it is coming to an end. And in your hands, you have a small tree, a sapling, a seed. And if you are physically capable of planting that seed into the soil before you, then the Prophet, peace and blessings of God, says, do it. Plant that seed. Even in the darkest of hours. So I want to ask you, who would do this, right? Who would find it worthwhile to do this seemingly very small, insignificant thing, even in the darkest of hours? I'll tell you, the person who has God consciousness, who has taqwa, who knows that even though this seemingly small deed, it's very small and we will never see the fruits of this tree, quite literally, we will never benefit from it as the individual who was planting it. No children will grab fruit from it, but they know that it is still worthwhile. It has intrinsic value, and that God will count this seemingly small but good deed heavy on that person's scale on the day of judgment. Brothers and sisters, we are in dark times, but nothing is more dark than what that hadith is describing. And before us we have opportunities. God puts in our hands saplings every day. The question is, do we seize the opportunity before us? Do we plant those seeds, or do we neglect what God has given us? Because we might think, oh, it's so small. Oh, it's so little. Oh, it's insignificant. Oh, it won't make a difference. Oftentimes, we'll neglect the opportunity to do good because we don't see the value and the good in it. Or we might overthink it. We might overcomplicate it. But in reality, there are multiple seeds that we can sow into the earth before us. And as American Muslims, and I'm speaking to my Muslim friends, but this applies to everybody. God has put us on this earth to be custodians. He says, إِنِّي جَعَلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. إِنِّي جَعَلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Indeed, He has put representatives on this earth. And who are we but the custodians, those representatives, to champion His cause, to champion justice, to champion goodness and righteousness at every opportunity. So, here we are in America, arguably the strongest nation on earth in so many ways. Socially, politically, economically, militaristically, even the culture has a dominance on the world. Think about the impact we can make here. As the saying goes, think globally, act locally. Think globally, act locally. What we do here in America has ripple effects globally. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. This country is strong, for better or for worse. We are citizens of this nation. So let us do what we can here today and now, and not overlook the opportunity that is presented before us. Let us sow those seeds of righteousness into the ground at every opportunity, and not neglect the blessings that God has bestowed us with. What are those blessings? Well, as Americans, alhamdulillah, we have many. The civil rights, the civil liberties, the resources, the wealth, the knowledge, the institutions that exist to help us and to better our society. So let us continue to leverage these resources. Let us leverage our privileges. Now, speaking to the Muslims around the world, the Ummah is hurting. This is a fact, not just in Gaza, but in Kashmir and in India, at the hands of the far right-wing government of Narendra Modi. The news that is coming out in India, especially as of recent, is deeply alarming. But what are we to do? Well, again, think about the resources at our disposal. Let us use the democracy that we have in front of us and exhaust all of the channels that it provides to champion the voice of the voiceless globally, in Gaza, in Sudan, in Kashmir, in Yemen, in any other part of the world, be they Muslim or non-Muslim. Let us champion justice with what we have before us, through the electoral system, through the democracy that we have. We have our leadership here today. There are some that are here, alhamdulillah, we are blessed to have them, but there are many that are not. Do we have strong relationships with them? Can we call them to express our opinions? If we don't, we need to work on that. And many of us in this room, mashallah, the leadership included, are doing just that. And if I can add, CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, America's largest and oldest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization, is doing just that to the best of their ability. And I'm really proud to work and serve as Executive Director of the New Jersey office. So CAIR, alhamdulillah, it has 30 plus chapters nationwide. And we serve out of the New Jersey office in Newark, New Jersey. We're very proud to be in Newark, alhamdulillah. We just recently moved there. Yes, Councilwoman, good to see you, mashallah, that you're here. And what we do is to offer free legal services to American Muslims who are facing harassment and intimidation in all sectors of public life, be they in the schools, the universities, at work, no matter where they might be in the public. We are there to defend you. In advocacy work, being the voice for our community in all levels of government, from the local Board of Education all the way up to the President himself. Keeping an open line of communication so our voice is at the table. And of course, in the media, the fourth branch of government, as they call it. The media and the influence that it has should not be underestimated, am I right? The media has the ability to change the narrative. And how important is it that our voice is there on the TV, in the paper, online, everywhere, for the public to consume and learn about our perspective. This is what CAIR does, to defend and champion and represent the interests of the American Muslim community here in New Jersey, the 300 plus American Muslims that reside in this state, the over 150 mosques that have been established in this state. We are here to defend and champion them and work proudly and side by side our partner allies and organizations, both Muslim and non-Muslim, to defend and champion our community, to champion all marginalized communities. And I was asked to mention this very briefly, so I'll wrap up with this. As we continue to learn about the political process, we come across many different entities that exist, whether it's the 501c3 or the 501c4 or the PAC or what have you. Now, to be clear, CAIR is a 501c3 organization. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we focus on policies, not people. Policies, not people. So we're focused on championing concerns that our community has. So I can't go out and endorse any particular candidate or any incumbent. And that's important for our organizations and even our mosques. But with that said, we still have rights. Our mosques, our houses of worship, they still have rights. And they should not be afraid to be bold and unapologetic. When there is an issue that they care deeply about, be it ceasefire or what have you, they should be bold. When they have a concern that impacts their congregation, they should be bold. And they should speak out and let their voice be heard without getting involved in the election process itself, of course. There's a fine line, and if you're interested in learning more about 501c3, 501c4 and PAC arrangements and how they operate, I encourage you to please reach out and contact me or our office to get involved as well. So with that, I will conclude, but I do want to end by saying thank you to the organizers. MashaAllah, you guys have been doing this for many years, very strong, alhamdulillah. So may Allah continue to give you the strength to continue hosting this very beautiful iftar. And with that, I want to say thank you. May God continue to use us in this community here for good. May He continue to use us to sow the seeds of righteousness into the earth. May He allow us to seize the opportunity and not become paralyzed or feel hopeless or even worse, apathetic. How bad would it be if our community became apathetic? Care less, right? To throw our hands into the air and to say, oh, there's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do or say that would change the world. No. The Muslim is optimistic. So allow us to continue to be optimistic. May God use us for good. May He use us and put us at the forefront to champion justice and to champion that which is good and to elevate those that need our help. With that, Jazakumullah khairan, Barakallahu feekum, Assalamu alaikum, Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much.